what would it cost?
Cost? Cost who?
The people who buy the toy.
Well, nothing. We're going to give them away free.
For free?
Hello and welcome to the VR Cauldron. I'm Al, and today we're talking about bloody hell! It's only Monday, and I was expecting to make a video on Wednesday, and some loon over at Facebook accidentally leaks 2 promo videos about the Oculus Quest 2. That's right, 2! It's not a light, not a media viewing device, not even the decent upgrade I predicted. This is a monster. I heard about the leaks at work when a video from a cool tech and VR YouTuber called The Mystical popped up with the news. I googled it and I watched the videos that you could see running in the background. Wow, well, if you're watching this, then you've probably already heard the news from other YouTubers much bigger than me, so I'm going to come along with a different take on the matter. Yeah, I'll go over the specs that we know from the videos, but I also want to talk about why the specs are really scaring me, and also why it's actually not bad news for those of us who might be sticking with the Quest One. I'll also have some more predictions for the exact resolution which they only hinted at. So first, the specs that we know. It's going to have a freaking Qualcomm Snapdragon XR2. For those of you who that means nothing to, it's basically the premier Snapdragon mobile chip available right now. The 835 in the Quest was already 2 years old when it was launched, but Facebook are really going full tilt with this one. I predicted it would have another 2-year-old chip, the 855, which would have been a good upgrade, but wow, this does sound like bad news for current Questers, but I'll tell you why it might not be so bad later on, using the magic of simple maths and my speciality, number out the ass pullage.
Jesus Christ.
The video also told us about the resolution of the screen, which they say is almost 2K per eye, over 50% more pixels than the Quest One. Currently, the Quest One is 2880 by 1600 combined. I thought the Quest 2 would be the same, but on an LCD panel, making it seem sharper. Now, 4K resolution is 3840 horizontal by 2160 vertical. If the vertical was 2000, I think they would have said 2K. So I could imagine the vertical resolution being 1920, which is the number of pixels in full HD horizontally. Then width, I think it might be the same as 4K at 3840, which incidentally is double 1920. Numbers ass pulled. By the way, the Quest One has 4,608,000 pixels if you multiply the resolution numbers together. Increase this by 50%, like they say the Quest 2 is, you get 6,912,000 pixels. My guess for the resolution would give 7,372,800 pixels. That's actually an increase of 60% over the Quest 1. I do feel though that if it was a 60% increase, they would have said 60% and not more than 50%. But I'm just going to go with my gut rather than my brain. I still think we're going to get a single panel. I hope it's an LCD, but even if it's OLED, it will look a lot better than the Quest currently, which already look pretty good, and it will have the nice deeper OLED black levels. If it is LCD, damn, that's going to look sharp. It means virtual cinema viewing will now rival real life, which will open up the floodgates of Facebook-funded movies showing exclusively in Oculus Cinema. Remember I said that. By the way, back in the 90s, I told my friends that we won't have standard TV channels in a few years. We'll be watching everything through the internet. They all laughed at me and asked why anyone would want to watch films in a little tiny square. To put the resolution into perspective, the best resolution right now, even though it's not quite released yet, is the HP Reverb G2, which looks stunning. Just look at that through the lens Half-Life Alyx footage from MRTV. Amazing. Its resolution is 2160 by 2160 per eye, so that's 4320 by 2160 in total. That's a bit more than 4K horizontally, but the sharpness of the reverb is pretty close to what the Quest is going to be if it's an LCD screen. But damn, the new Quest is going to look good no matter what, and unlike the G2, you'll be getting much better tracking if the current Quest is anything to go by, and better controllers. The RAM is increased by 2 gig up to 6, and there's 3D positional audio and an optional 256 gigabytes of storage. As we thought, the strap is elastic, and although they mentioned the positional audio, as expected, the sound is still coming through the strap, so still shouldn't have the quality of over-ear headphones. Honestly though, I don't care. I really like the strap audio. If they could just make it a bit bassier, then I'd be very happy. The IPD is a bit concerning. Again, I'm trying to zoom in on that place where the sensor is, and I can't see any numbers, but the low resolution of the leaked video isn't helping. Comparing it to the proximity sensor of the current Quest though, it does show to be vertical instead of horizontal, and it does look a lot larger, so I still hope, because why would they change the orientation if it's still just a sensor? Anyway, it all sounds amazing, but why does it scare me? Well, for one, it's those leaked prices of $299 and $399 for the 256 gig model. I used those as a basis for my previous predictions, which is why I never thought the Quest 2 would get an XR2. Now I'm worried that the prices were a load of rubbish. The fact that the size of 256 gigabytes was leaked is encouraging, as is the fact that the old Quest is gone. There's no way that they're going to increase the price over the previous $399 and $499 if they eventually want a billion people in VR. It does seem likely that they would want to lower it. Facebook make about $30 billion in ad revenue and rising per year. Quest One has sold somewhere between 600,000 to a million, around a million units. We're not entirely sure how many. If they sell a million Quest 2s in a year and lose $200 on each one, that's 200 million lost through Quests.
Jesus Christ.
As a percentage of their total estimated ad revenue, that is 2/3 of a single percent. Basically nothing. And that's assuming that they don't make any money back. But those VR users will want to buy games. Facebook will get a cut. We've already talked about ads. Somehow Facebook will get money back through that too. I've talked about Facebook targeted ads in VR games in a previous video, links for that below, but I can imagine a lot of ads being in that Horizon virtual world that's in its beta testing right now. But also, all of the VR experience will be heavily linked into Facebook's social media, including Instagram. They'll actively encourage you to share your VR social experiences with your non-VR friends to try to convert them using FOMO, the fear of missing out. This will drive people back to Instagram and Facebook timelines, so more people see more ads, and using their VR insight to your life, the ads will be better targeted too. You'll start seeing ads for the VR accessories, and anyone who has a Quest right now knows we all love a VR accessory. Trust me when I say Facebook finds a way. The other thing that scares me a bit is that I might need a new router if I want to virtual desktop all those pixels wirelessly into my headset. Oh, and a new graphics card. Damn. I also assumed I'd get the model with the smaller disk space, just like with the Quest One, but now seeing the specs, I do agree with what they say in the video about games needing more space. Not better games though, just more graphically detailed games. So that brings me to the games and the gamers, and we'll be doing more maths and pooey number pulling. Will Quest One gamers be okay to play the new games? Well, encouragingly, the maths seem to agree with what I said in the last video, that Quest 1 gamers should be absolutely fine playing new games going forward. In general performance, the XR2 is a beast of a chipset, but it's only twice as fast as the 835 in the Quest 1. I say only twice as fast, that is quite a bit faster. And in other tests, it's more than that, but with general CPU and GPU performance, twice as fast. However, the Quest 2 has over 50% more pixels. I also still believe that it will run at 90 Hz at the very least. They haven't mentioned refresh rate in the video, nor field of view for that matter, so we're still waiting for that. But that's an extra 18 frames per second, or an increase of 25%. That means to push the frames and the pixels, you need an extra 50% and then another 25% on top of that of performance. Well, if you increase something by 50% and then 25%, that's an increase of 87.5%, i.e. nearly double. It's not 75% by the way, because you don't just add the 50 and the 25. A double increase would have been 100%, so 87.5 isn't too far off. Oh, and if my resolution guess is right, and we increase by 60%, followed by 25%, then we get twice as much power needed just to push the extra pixels and the frames. What does this mean to gamers? Well, it means that Quest 1 owners should be able to play the same games as Quest 2 owners. They'll just look sharper on the Quest 2 and run a little smoother. Basically, what I said in the last video, and it's kind of like the difference between playing something on a Rift S or on an Index. Games run fine on both systems, they just look a bit better on the Index. I know it's not quite as simple as that, and the Quest 2 will be able to do other things better too. For example, more video memory will mean better looking textures, but generally, Quest 1 owners will be happily mobile VR gaming for a while to come. So that's it now until Wednesday, when we'll hopefully get the full news. I will be back with the full lowdown of how I did in terms of the specs, so we'll have the full specs hopefully. Until then, please don't leak anything. I'd like a night off. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the like button, and if you want to see more, remember to subscribe. So I've been Al, thanks for watching the VR Cauldron, take care of yourselves, and I hope to see you next time. See ya!